We'll watch this live, but hopefully you guys can get some help watching this back after I post it. I wanted to do some alternate picking exercises based off of some classical stuff. It's cool when you can take something that exists as it is and put it on guitar and it be a worthwhile exercise. So I'm going to warm up for a second or two, see if people do want to show up for a second. Let me see if I can flip my camera. I think it's backwards right now. Wait, Pearl? Yeah, that's backwards. Nope, that is my other one. I guess you don't, you just get a mirrored, camera today. Sorry about that. Guitar is killer, man. Literally just got out of the car, half-hour ride down here to the school. It stays in tune perfectly. Not that it shouldn't or anything, but most of my guitars would have had an issue with the weather just changed here. There's zero humidity now. And this sat in my car for a couple minutes while I stopped by the store and all that. And usually all my other guitars would have an issue, but this one, killer guitar, man. I don't have a lesson until 4:30. Everybody's been, school starts back up and we usually have a mass hiatus around here until about October, and then people usually start signing back up. But yeah, as it stands now, I have my most advanced student at 4:30. We're going to go over some of this stuff today, so that's why I figured it'd be good for, might as well do a video of it as well. So let's talk about Rondo Capriccio, Rage Where I Lost Penny. And now, of course, I was shown this by Paul Gilbert. I think it was Guitars from Mars or something to that effect. I can't remember if it's Terrifying Guitar Trip or Guitars from Mars. But one of the two, he played a bunch of classical stuff, and it was completely awe-inspiring to me, especially because he kind of brought this whole new timbre to these songs. So even if it was a violin piece or a cello piece or something, which usually does have a certain timbre to it just based off of the instrument, him having a relatively overdriven sound and the ability to have a harmonic or vibrato, you know, in some of these pieces was really incredible. Even something as simple as like it's got this whole new character to it that the original piece doesn't have for me. I also am absolutely enamored with guitar and everything about it, so that might have something to do with it. But for me, it brought this whole new unknowing aspect to all these songs and really got me into the whole classical thing. So it has been an endeavor of mine to continue to try to push the classical pieces. So I'll show these two if there's people in here, and if I have enough time, I might show a third one. I think it's, I don't remember who it's by, to be honest. It might just be Paganini. Let's see. I'm just looking it up real quick, sorry. You're sitting on my laptop. Sarasate. Yeah, Sarasate. Pablo de Sarasate. I think that's how you say that. But that's who that's by. And it's a piece that Heifetz played I'm a big fan of high fits. I like virtuosos. I like people who've pushed themselves on their instrument. And violin being a closely related instrument to the guitar, it's fun to take those pieces and try to do them on guitar. Same thing with clarinet, actually. Like Leah P. I can't remember who that's by either. Sorry, but Leah P is another piece that's it's Leapi. Leah Pi. It could be something I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly, but that piece is incredible. And I'll show that one in a couple weeks to come. I'm still trying to work that one out and transcribe it in a way that is playable, because the whole trick with that one, because it's very clarinet oriented, I'm pretty sure, or very oboe oriented, one of the two, but it's got like I've been told this by somebody else. I didn't know this inherently, but apparently it's got like a register switch or thing. you're pushing down, kind of like, from what I, in layman's terms, was understood it's kind of like even like a recorder, how you have the hole on the back that you cover or uncover. You get higher notes or lower notes based off of that, and so this is the song is written to make you switch the register constantly, like go below and then high, which is apparently incredibly difficult. And you also have to circular breathe. Well, those things kind of go away on guitar, but we do get really interesting wide shapes, kind of a la Campanella, like a, oops, which is obviously incredibly difficult on any instrument, but the piano version itself kind of plays to that as well. So the first thing we're going to go over, though, is Rondo Capriccio, and I'll play it. I'm just going to kind of talk about it for a few minutes, and then I'll play the parts, and then I'll go over the parts slowly. So it has this really cool, like snarky kind of sound to it, like this. It's got some trills in there and stuff, so it's definitely a very classical song. But the way we're going to utilize this is we're going to try to turn this into a couple little exercises for ourselves to get used to both alternate picking. And there's even a nice the Paul Gilbert, well, one of the Paul Gilbert licks. That sorry, it's been a while since I played that, but that's what comes up next. Oops. Yeah, like that. Now the key to this is the picking, and what we're gonna do is, you can see I'm watching Lyric play the Call of Duty beta right there. That's funny. But we have an up, down, pull, pull, and then the opposite of what we just did: down, up, hammer, hammer. This philosophy is very Paul Gilbert inspired, but I think that generally in most of the stuff that I try to do, if I do it down and then up, I'm trying to do the opposite coming up that I did going down. So, oops. So that flow, that rolling thing we have going there, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. That's a really cool lick as well. And it's really cool for reasons like that. Like, of course, we don't want to relegate this lick to this song or even to this key. We want to kind of think about the technique itself as being something we can kind of apply everywhere, maybe in different spots, at the risk of doing too much Paul Gilbert stuff, that we could do that same kind of lick with a Paul Gilbert string skip. Granted, it's spread out now, but I still have an up, down, pull, pull, and then a down, up, hammer, hammer. It's the same kind of thing. And the important thing for any lesson is to kind of try to take it and apply it to your own playing. So as I talk your ear off, the intro again goes like this. Now, the written music would say that we would play the first part in the lower register, which I do. However, the ascending part that takes us to the octave of the same thing we play in the lower register, I'm going to play it the same twice, just for integrity's sake. So this way we don't have to. It's a different way to play some of the same notes, but you end up doing the same thing in a different way, more or less. There are some different notes in there when you're ascending from the lower register to the higher register instead of going from high back to high. You'll see what I'm saying. That'll make much more sense in a second. But my point is that we're going to play the same ascending thing twice, so we don't have to get into something that doesn't really matter. The important part of this lesson is that we are focusing on this next part that's coming up right now. So, oops. I don't know why I had to play it fast first. 1 second, please. Okay, I got it. Sorry. And that pattern is going to be the same pattern throughout, just in different scale shapes. And they are very scalar shapes. So we are thinking 3 note per string here. Sometimes we're only playing 2. Like there, we're only the first 2 notes there, right? But we're still thinking. We're still thinking about all those notes being there, and we're using our fingers, and our finger position, our hand position, and our finger positions accordingly. Like we're thinking about them as 3 note per string. So, all right. This is a little tricky because we have an open string, but it feels nice going to the next lick, which is going to be on the D string now. Sorry, it's G string. Am I right? Yeah, it's D string. I'm sorry. Let me start over. All right, so let's take it from there again real slow. From the top, I should say, up into that point real slow. The cool thing is, if you learn this time, it's the same when we go to the next octave. It's literally the same, and it's in fact a little easier too because we don't have to worry about the open strings. We can in fact just play the 3 note per string shapes, which if you're like me, you're probably more used to that than having to think about an open string being in there and when not to use 3 fingers or 2 fingers in this case. So again, just to get to that point, so your ear can be ready for it. The next one is going to be 2 whole holes, and they're a half a step apart. One on the A string, and one on the G or the E string. Last one is going to be with the open string, and then we're to our ascending part. So everything really slow. Sorry, this is a perfect example. Open string. Open strings get me, man. But you can hear it's the same pattern, right? That low note, back to that low note. We go up through the scale and then back to it. Same thing again. Let me do it again. So this part, oops. Is that right? I think, yeah, that's my bad. I used to play it wrong, and I'm just figuring out today that I was playing it wrong. You don't play 17 twice. That A does not appear twice in the sheet music. That's how I used to play it before. We're actually starting on 13 instead. So we're just doing straight chromatic notes from 13 all the way up to 19. Like that. So again. Oops. It's tough. All right, let's talk about the notes that we're playing in that ascending pattern. Think about this more as shapes, and usually I wouldn't say that. I would ask you to kind of consider musically what was going on here. But in this case, we're trying to focus on technique, and we're trying to have a kind of looping lick that's going to work on our alternate picking. And this is also something that'd be very comfortable as well, because it can all be picked downward pixelating because you're changing the string with the same pick every time. And what I mean by that is, if I'm going to go, there's a downstroke on the new string, upstroke to downstroke again when we shift positions, upstroke to downstroke again to switch positions. Down, up, switching again, down, up, switching again, down, up, down, up. So it's a downstroke every time. It's like the Troy Grady lick. If you've seen any of my videos, he's got this Yngwie lick that he did. He calls it the Pop-Tarts Lick. Troy Grady's awesome. You have to go watch the Cracking the Code videos. It's some of the best stuff that's ever been put out on YouTube, in my opinion. But this lick that he does is designed to be easier, or comfortable, I should say, for somebody like ourselves who are downward pick slanting as opposed to upward pick slanting. And if you don't know what that is, I would definitely implore you to go check out Troy's videos, but I'll give you a brief example here. If you consider the strings to be a flat plane, the angle at which we are holding the pick is pick angle. That would stand to reason, right? There is an upward slanting pick angle and a downward slanting pick angle. I'm comfortable with the downward slanting pick angle, which means that like downward sweeps and changing the string on the downstroke would be easy for me. They call this the upward escape motion, right? Because if I'm down into the strings, if I'm on a downward pick slant, if I pick down, I'm stuck in the strings. If when I go up, I'm out of the strings. Well, it's the complete reverse if I was to do an upward pick slant. So if I'm down, I'm out of the strings, versus being up, I'm into the strings. So this is a downward escape motion. Doing two-way pick escape or two-way pick slanting is the endeavor, or should be the endeavor, of most virtuoso guitar players. But that being said, people always have what's comfortable to them. I think it's Mclaughlin is his name. John Mclaughlin, I think is who that is. I only recently got into him, which is terrible to say. But I know I'm pretty sure he's a upward pick slanter. There's a couple gypsy guys that Troy's also brought on that are all upward pick slanters. And it's kind of weird to look at, but you can see the comfort. They're looking for the string to change on an upstroke versus a downstroke. Now, ascending, that would be what I would be going for as well. Down one, down, up, right? The Paul Gilbert outside string picking. But that still suits the downward pick slanter, right? We're stuck in the strings, right, with this downstroke, but that's allowing us to get this upstroke. Now, this is, again, this lick that we're playing here, all these licks are suited for the downward pick slanter, so keep that in mind when we do this. The lick that I was going to show you, though, as I rambled, I gotta remember what it is. No. Okay. Alright, it's been a while since I played that one, sorry. Alright, so that one is all, again, we're switching on the new string's always a downstroke for us, which is comfortable for us. Keep that same thing in mind for this lick we're going to play right here, this ascending lick. We're going to play 9, 10, and 12 twice on the E string and the A string, and then keeping on the A string, we're going to come up and we're going to play a whole step, half step shape 3 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, yeah, that's right. Now on the B string, we're going to play a half step, whole step, and then we start our chromatic lick. So nice and slow. We have half step, whole step twice, and then we have whole step, half step 3 times, and then half step, whole step, and then we have our chromatic, which is 13, 14, 15, 16, and then 17, 18, 19. Really cool chromatic lick there. I need to work on it, that's for sure. But that is going to recycle us into the new octave. If you notice, we're right in our position of where we would take off playing the same lick that we played in the lower register now in the upper register. So nice and slow, just showing you how this connects real quick. If you're watching this back, feel free to fast forward through this part. Sorry. We're going to take off up there. The same lick, right? Same exact lick we played down here. That's the same thing here. Okay? So, slow. It's nice. We don't have to worry about the open string there. We just play the 12th fret, right? back to our ascending part again. And that is pretty much Rondo Capriccio. Oh man, I don't even know if anybody... All right, good. All right, nobody's talking or anything. If you're watching this back though, leave a comment. Let me know if that helps at all. It's a really cool lick. I like to do just the lower octave part. I don't know why. I feel like it's easier to pick alternate pick stuff higher up than it is down low sometimes, and so I try to work them out evenly. So this for me, that's a little more difficult than doing this. Even though I can't play it now. That doesn't sound great, sorry. That's what we should talk about also, is when we change the strings, we have to roll our finger over to get to that new string. There's licks that will help with this. I think even sweeping stuff, like having that finger get used to rolling like that is really helpful. But also, just this lick itself, and just stopping yourself when you get to that troublesome note. That's what Steve Morse always talked about in his instructional videos, was finding the culprit, the part that's tough, and then making yourself play only that part for a while. The other note, you might have 30 other notes that are in there that you play fine, but that one note's going to stop all the other notes from sounding good. And it's a good philosophy to live by when you're practicing. So, sorry. That's so hard. All right, we're moving on before I play that terribly again. Sorry. I think we should talk about Paganini now. And there's one particular lick for me that is always, I have tried to play this. I have a video of me playing it, but it's pretty sloppy. It's from years ago now. I think 2015. It's on my channel. But it's like I think I played like altitudes and I did Paul Gilbert's Tokyo solo, the famous one, and I threw this Paganini lick in there as well. It was like an ADHD video, if you will. But this lick itself is the hardest part of his 24th Caprice. If you don't know what it is, that's what we're talking about. The part we're talking about is, I think, the fourth. I think it comes in after the. Let me think about it. It's been a while, so if I mess it up, you know why. Hedging. There it is. It's been a while. But now your ear's tuned to the song. And so the lick that we're going to be playing is this one. Now, this lick is extremely tricky, not only because we're going to have to pick one way one time and then the other way the other time. It's the wonderful world of picking contradictions that Paul Gilbert always said. But we also have a sneaky sweep in there too. And I cannot find a better way to play this sneaky sweep right here. And I call it a sneaky sweep because we're doing a ton of alternate picking. And then we have to quickly, we're all the way down here the A string, we have to play the G string and then the E string next, right? So we're playing. And that's what turns our picking around. Unless you can get two downstrokes in there, which I cannot, especially at that speed. It's very difficult for me. So this lick is really cool to recycle over and over again. There's a secondary part I'll show just for solidarity's sake, so you guys have the song. But the first lick is really the one you want to practice. So this one goes like this. Nice and slow. So it's the same thing a few times. You can hear when it catches back up with the beat. Try to keep the pulse in your head if you can. It's on the and the second time. So nice and slow again. So we're just playing this octave here of A, and then walking back. So so we're like that's right, sorry. Yeah, that's all we're doing. We're just doing a big like classical feeling cadence there over this whole thing. And this one's really tricky. So I like to go down, up, or maybe 2 downs if you can. That's not that bad. Yeah, that's not that bad. I don't think it needs to be faster than that. So if you can start this with a downstroke, it's nice because down, up, and then it's down. So you're changing the strings outside. Whoops. But the problem is we're up here, down here, and now we're up. So we have to do the opposite. We're changing the string on an upstroke. So however you can make that work and is comfortable for you is the way you should do it. So down, up can be just fine, and do it the same way twice. It will make this transition between that minor second pretty difficult, but if we can do down, down, which is how I started, we can at least have one of them sound perfect. I kind of cheat sometimes. I can get a pull off there to allow me to have that downstroke on the new string, but again, it's totally up to you, whatever works best for you. Like, yeah, that's right. This part right here, another little sneaky sweep there. We have this little hammer on too. And it just moves down a whole step, same thing. Then we have 2 chromatic parts. So we moved a whole step to get there, and then we did a half step, half step back. And then we have like a... So the whole thing's slow. Sorry. But that's that. Maybe we'll wait on the other one. We're coming up on a half hour right now, and I think that that should be probably good for alternate picking stuff. I could just give you a quick one real quick, one that is kind of the bread and butter of most alternate picking players, and something that also is, again, comfortable for downward pick slanters. We'll do a video of one that's not comfortable with the lick. We have to switch every time there. It's down, up, down, up, down, and then it's up, down, up, down, up. So we're having to do the 2-way pick slanting that we talked about. Downward pick slanting at first, and then upward pick slanting next. Right, because we start with an upstroke. And then same thing for maybe like Ingves. And I start there's an upstroke too. Doing that. Sorry. Is the only way I can get that to be comfortable and quick and clean. Up, down. So because he does the first 3 twice, sorry. You do up, down, up, and then it's down, up, down, up. So we're getting, we're going in between the strings there, which is really nice. Ingves is so cool, man. But yeah, so yeah, that'll be all. If there's any questions, please leave some comments. I don't mind. I'll make another video and I'll address any questions or anything. But I hope this was helpful. The bread and butter thing I was going to talk about is if we can just take a major scale, any major scale. We'll do A major right now, and it's pretty simple because the way the guitar fretboard always lays out. If you don't know this, here's a little trick for you. The way the fretboard always lays out is almost no matter what, 3 whole holes, 2 half holes, and then 2 whole halves. And what I mean by that is if we had a 7 string, on the B string I could play another whole hole shape like this, right? But we're on the second one, so we have 2 of these now, and then 2 half holes, and then we have 2 whole halves. And that's how the fretboard always lays out, no matter what. Even if we find ourselves starting on like a random one. Like if I could make a decision right now and say, hey, I'm gonna play either a whole step, half step, or I could play, right? I could keep that going. That's my point being, that's how the way the guitar is tuned and the way the notes lay out in these scalar shapes, 3 note per string, you can't miss if you continue to try to think about that pattern. And so we can kind of, in the modes lay out the same way. So we can just take the major scale here, and we can play every string twice. So 3 notes per string, 6 notes per string. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we can keep it going. So, or we could go. That's probably what I would do. Let me think about what's the best. I think going up and then back down and then back up is a little more challenging. So we have like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So and then you can work this all the way up. You know, whatever we could. It could be F sharp too, I guess too. This is A major. My point in telling you this though is maybe try putting one of these licks in your practice routine, not to play it like that every time, but to maybe have something as like a climax builder. So maybe we could have like a you know, like a lick like that or something that's like that to say, hey, we have this big build up, you know, to have that nice or something like that. I don't know. Okay, there's some licks for you. I hope you guys have a good one. Please leave a comment if there's anything else that you'd like me to cover, or if there's something that I messed up on or something I could clarify. I don't know. And I hope everybody's having a good day. Okay, bye.